My best friend 24M of 5 years moved away and is asking for a break from me due to unresolved anxiety. I 24M am unsure of how to proceed. What am I supposed to do? Throw away just in case, even though I use direct quotes and it would be obvious if the involved people read it. FML, I need some advice, and I'll take the risk. Bit of a long story. For privacy reasons, I'm Alex, and my best friend is Lewis. I 24M and my best friend 24M have been going through a rough period recently. We met in college and hit it off immediately when he came up to me and said, "You and I are going to be best friends." Throughout college, Lewis and I became closer and closer and became each other's anchor through hard times. We became more than just friends, we became family. His family would take me on vacation, and Lewis would frame it as me being an intermediary between him, a man, and his homophobic family. I always appreciated being considered a part of their family, despite some of the awkward moments you can assume would arise from that kind of environment. I also introduced Lewis to my family many times. My mother always jokes about wanting a son, and now she has one in Lewis. Our friendship was familial. We had lived together for 3 years and he just recently moved out with his boyfriend. I was extremely supportive of the relationship and the idea of them moving in together, and I assisted in the move-out process. While we lived together, it was the best year of my life. We went on cross-country vacation together and shared some of the best times together. Right after they moved out and took their cat Bonita 3F, I started a summer class and dedicated all of my time to my studies for the 5 weeks it lasted. The day of the final, I walked out with the highest grade possible and immediately texted Lewis about how much I missed them and wanted to meet up. Keep in mind I was just on an emotional high after my final. I don't receive a text back until I'm at work as a host for a restaurant. He responded, "I don't want to plan anything with you right now, I'd like some space from you. If you want to talk about why, we can. But I'm sorry, I just need some space from you. Not forever, but for some time." To say I was devastated by this text would be an unbelievable understatement. We had just spent 5 weeks apart from each other and I was devastated to get this as a text. The line "if you want to talk about why, we can," hit me worse than I could imagine, as my overactive imagination had my brain turn on itself, and I spent my shift tearing my mind apart and blaming myself for every small thing that has ever happened in our relationship. Not healthy, I know, but I'm working on it. I didn't reply until after my shift with a message that read, "I recognize and respect your need for space. If you want to talk about it, I am available whenever you are ready. Take all the time you need, and know that I am thinking of you and appreciate our friendship. I'd hate to reach out too soon and risk hurting our friendship anymore, so I'll ask these questions now. Logistically, question about future events. Sorry for the late response. I needed time to process this information. This message was very difficult to hear from someone who I love like family. I went home after my shift and just sat, still digesting everything and trying to figure everything out. It wasn't until 3 hours later that I got the response. "It's okay, Alex, relax. I want to see you again eventually. There are just a lot of standing anxieties I had to put up with when we lived together that I hid from you because I was scared of hurting our friendship. I had a lot of constant crippling anxiety when you owed me from the Arizona trip. It was 2 years of anxiety that I hid because I didn't want to start conflict. Then at the house I had standing anxiety over Bonita getting caught when she wasn't allowed on the lease. You didn't seem to care when I asked you not to let her look out the window because you kept letting it happen. That was a constant anxiety that I hid because I didn't want to start conflict. I have spent the last few years constantly living with anxiety that I tucked away, and now there's a lot of pain that I want to heal from. And I am healing every day. I just need a little more time, please. I still love you and you are still valuable to my life. I just want space to heal from having to hide how I feel, and I don't have the energy to make plans with you right now while I'm doing that. Response to logistics questions include birthday next month. Please relax, Alex, and know that I still love you. This isn't the end. I think our friendship will actually grow much stronger in the future, if I can have this time to myself right now." This response really helped me emotionally figure out everything that was going on, and I really wished it was included in the original text, as that would have probably saved me from an entire shift of embarrassment, forcing back tears, and trying to stop my hands from shaking. I had gone hours without an explanation, and I was switching back and forth between relief and frustration. Relief that I finally got an answer and could figure out and proceed from that point forward. As well as relief knowing that my friendship was not over. However, I was frustrated that this was not said earlier. I spent the rest of the night drafting a text that my new roommate advised me not to send. He gave me a lot of really good advice and said I should save this for a journal, but I thought I'd share it with y'all to be transparent about what I was going through. I'm really sorry you felt that way for so long. Please take the time you need to relax from that anxiety. I am sorry if I fostered an environment that was toxic and stressed you out. That was never my intention, and I really want to take this as a learning experience. I want to be better not just for you but for everyone in my life now and for my future relationships. Also in the future, please, if you need to address me about something like this, send a connected message about the situation. The message, if you want to talk about why, we can. Please just let me know in one message. This caused me so much pain and sent me spiraling. I tore myself apart. I spent a shift at work crying in the bathroom and trying to stop myself from shaking uncountably from the anxiety. Please don't feel bad, but just be forthright and don't leave me hanging. I totally understand that long texts like these take time and effort to put together. The response text gave me a lot of understanding into the situation and helped me realize that there was still an opportunity for friendship down the line. Again, I totally understand how long it takes to put emotions into words and to write out essays about situations we're going through. However, if it takes longer for a response, I'd much prefer that than what I went through today. You mean the world to me, and that first text did not have the amount of information that this situation deserved. That may just be me, but my emotions matter too. Please know I'll give you the space you need and feel free to reach out when you want to make a connection again. Te quiero mucho. To hermano, your brother. Instead of sending that message, I sent, please know I'll give you the space you need, and feel free to reach out when you want to make a connection again. And I have not heard back since. It's been over 2 weeks since this interaction, and I have not heard back. Honestly, I don't really know how to feel, and I'm still working through this. Now this is something I'll never tell Lewis, as I feel like emotions are valid and I understand where he's coming from. However, with the 2 points he addressed that were causing him anxiety, I'd like to address my side of the situation. For the Arizona trip, I was in debt to him for a hefty amount of money. We had taken his parents' trailer to camp in and were on the road while Lewis was driving. The T-railer flipped on the highway. We were all fine, and we ended up not hitting anybody on the highway, which was so lucky. We had to get the trailer towed to a scrapyard and pay for all of the fees. Most people would have turned around at this point, but we were 24 hours away from home, so we decided to keep on pushing to our destination. We lost a lot of money as we had already booked out places to camp, and they refused to refund us. And the flip itself burned out most of our saved up income for this trip. Lewis decided to take on the debt, and we would borrow money from him and pay him back over time. There were 3 of us on the trip, and I had been paying back the money I owed in monthly increments. Whereas my other roommate, who was on the trip with us, very sporadically sent a few payments. Lewis brought this up regularly as something that stressed him out and eventually came up to me and said he was at a breaking point of the stress. I let him know that I would pay the final amount that he was owed from me, which was $200 right then and there, but that it would financially endanger me. He seemed fine with this, and I sent him the money right away. I then struggled to pay rent and could only eat ramen noodles for a very long time, as it was all I could afford. I felt like I did everything I could in that situation and even did more than I could by paying him back the final lump sum. With the cat situation, it's a bit complicated. When we moved into this house, I was told that the cat was not technically allowed at this residency. I had then somehow forgot that this was the case. For some reason, I thought Lewis was dodging pet fees, as he had done this before at previous residencies. Hard time we live in and all. When Lewis was moving out, I was interested in getting a replacement cat. Bonita was a huge part of this household, and I was going to miss her dearly when she was gone. I had an amazing relationship with that cat. I reached out to our landlords, asking about a pet fee, and received the message that there were no pets allowed at this residency. I then texted Lewis to clarify whether Bonita was allowed or not. And he told me that she was not allowed there. This whole conversation happened before I received the big text. Granted, even having a cat look at the window while not on the lease was dangerous, but she's a cat. I can't control her actions. I was constantly blamed for her actions, despite her not being my cat. We had a couch up against the living room window that she would sit at, and there was a bedside table next to my window that she would sit at. Lewis constantly got on me about letting her look out the window. I never truly felt like this was my fault, and I had brought that up multiple times to him. He told me that if she was to look out the window, to spray her with a water bottle, and I was appalled by that. I am a huge cat lover, and I would never dream of attacking a cat just because it wants to look out the window at birds. Keep in mind that she was an indoor cat only. On top of that, there's the psychological part of that where the cat would not understand why it was being punished and would grow to resent me, which I would not allow as I loved that cat. These are all counter-arguments that I would never let Louis see, and I wanted to be forthright with all of the information throughout this situation. In the end, I'm contemplating a lot of things. I'm contemplating whether or not I want this relationship to continue. I'm unsure if I'm in this situation, and with our birthday parties in under a month, I'm unsure if I want to invite him or see him before then. Now this is me thinking short-term, as I have been hurt throughout this situation. I'm hurt that he did not trust me far sooner with his anxieties. But I know that's not fair, and I feel as if holding that against him would prove him right to not have talked to me sooner. It's been over a month since we've seen each other in person. And I'm not sure what to do. Any advice would be greatly appreciated.